Okay, so let's say you did not have a tightness, but you still feel that there's something off in your hip. It's what's causing you to really always want to stretch it. And by the way, if when you stretch it, you tend to get a little bit of temporary relief, but then an hour later, things are actually worse than they were before, then you're likely dealing even more with what we're going to talk about right now, and that is a weak hip flexor that all you're doing is stretching it and making it worse. So you want to do is you want to have a way to test that on you, and we can do that very simply. You take a box, any surface that allows your knee to be higher than your hip when you put your foot on it, okay? And then what we want to do from here is lift off of that surface. Okay, so stand upright. Put your hands up behind your head so you can't cheat. We don't want to be leaning towards it. We don't want to be bringing our chest to the knee. We want to be able to bring our knee up to our chest. Okay, and see if you can hold it up here for 15 seconds. So lift off of that surface so that your hip is as high as you can flex it actively. And then from here, see if you can hold it. If you start to get a cramp in the outside of your hip, which would be in the tensor area here, that's a good indication that you have a weakness in this muscle group here, because it's asking for help from another muscle down below that isn't really equipped to do what you're asking it to do, which is flex above 90 degrees. If you remember back to the anatomy we showed earlier, the ones that attach at the level of the hip are good at flexing you to that level, but they're not so good at flexing you above. So by putting ourselves in this position here where our knee's already above 90 degrees, now the only thing we can do is use either that iliacus or the psoas to try to get us up here. And that's where you're going to find a good weakness if it exists. The other thing we could do is, we don't have to use this at all. We could just stand right here and pull the leg as high as we can, right? And then dynamically let it go. And if when we let it go, I can't keep it here in this position like that. If it drops and it catches, guess where? At 90 degrees, well, that's the level at which it got a little bit of assistance from those other three muscles that are helping out at that level. But I don't have the strength to be able to take it up at the above 90 position and hold it up above 90. So that would be a good indication. If you hold it here and you drop it and you can't hold it, you can't stop the leg until it gets to the level of 90.